Coming up on Wolverine Sports Magazine, it's Big Ten title time. We'll have updates on winter and spring teams as the weather begins to turn in Ann Arbor.
Wolverine Sports Magazine is presented by Meyer.
Hi everyone, welcome to Wolverine Sports Magazine. I'm Anthony Polidano. We begin today's show with basketball. The Wolverines were in Minneapolis for the Big Ten tournament on Wednesday night, where they kicked off play as the 14th seed against 11th-seeded Penn State. The voice of Michigan basketball, Brian Bush, was there and has the story.
Offense was hard to come by early on Wednesday in Minneapolis. Midway through the first half, it was just an 11-7 game with Penn State in front. Namari Burnett kept the Wolverines' offense afloat in the first half, hitting 3 key triples to keep Michigan in it. Penn State had as big of a lead as 6 early on, but the Wolverines were able to even it up at 20 apiece at the 4:27 mark. But the Nittany Lions surged to intermission with a 13-2 run, capped by Zach Hicks' 4th tray of the half. In the second half, Michigan started with a 7-0 counterpunch to pull within 4, but foul trouble caught up with the Wolverines. 3 key players, Terrace Reed Jr., Will Cheddar, and Doug McDaniel, had 2 first-half fouls. Eventually, Reed would foul out with about 5 minutes to go. Will Cheddar suffered the same fate down the stretch. And from there, Penn State pulled away. They never trailed in the second half and led by as many as 15 before sending the Wolverines to a 9-point loss and a 3rd consecutive one-and-done in the Big Ten tournament.
It is truly uncomfortable when you have, a plan of, you want to be dancing in March. You want to also be the last team standing. And when you don't achieve those goals, that's when, tough adversity hits. But, with our group, I've seen how the adversity where we rallied behind one another. Everything you want is on the other side of hard. And I really believe that, this has been a learning year, but it's been a year that we've all has really joined together. And that's when family has been tested, and I feel family has stepped up and supported one another when family needed one another.
I mean, you look back at the season, you look at all the pain and suffering, and overall, I just got to thank the Lord. I mean, yes, still I rejoice that I was blessed enough to even have this season, blessed enough to play with my brothers, and overall just having that positive mindset, and thank God for another season. So the plan is hit this offseason, grinding and running, and change some things with the program this year, trusting Coach Howard, and next year we go to March Madness.
What can you take from a season like this? You've experienced a lot of highs in your career. What can this teach you as you move forward?
Well, it just taught me I'm battle tested. I can make it through anything, highs and the lows, with everything. So, I feel like as a man, when adversity hit, I'm able to get through it.
What has it meant to you to be a Michigan Wolverine?
It's meant a lot, as you can see. It's hitting me right now, but these past 4 years was everything. From Big Ten championship to Elite Eight, to this season. It's mean a lot, but I feel like I'm a Michigan man for life.
A disappointing season for the Michigan Wolverines comes to an end in Minneapolis on night 1 of the Big Ten tournament. The Michigan finishes with 9 consecutive losses, and they head into an offseason, always the case in college basketball, with plenty of questions and a lot of potential movement on the horizon. For MGO Blue TV, I'm Brian Bush.
The women will find out their tournament destination on Sunday night when the brackets are revealed. Now, they played very well last weekend in Minneapolis in the Big Ten tournament, making it all the way to the semifinals. Michigan opened play March 7th with a 76-57 wire-to-wire victory over Minnesota. Layla Felia led a trio of double-digit scores, going for 23 points. Lauren Hansen added 14 points and 6 assists, while Cameron Williams tossed in 11 points on 5 of 7 shooting. Michigan had 20 assists and just 7 turnovers. The Wolverines advanced to the quarterfinals for the 2nd straight season, where they then faced 12th-ranked Indiana. After a slow start, the Hoosiers scored 9 of the first 14 points of the second quarter and raced out to a 14-point halftime lead. IU led by 17 in the third quarter before the Wolverines turned the tide. Michigan outscored Indiana 48-18 over the final 19 minutes of the game to win 69-56. Filia scored a career-best 30 points in 40 minutes of action. She shot 12 of 22 from the floor, grabbed 4 rebounds, and had 4 assists. Hansen hit 4 triples and finished with 16 points. Williams and Jordan Hobbs each added 10 points for the victors. Michigan flipped 14 Hoosier turnovers into 24 points, and Michigan recorded its 20th win of the season.
I think our confidence grew as the game went on. I think Layla Filia showed why she's one of the best players in the country, and I thought she did a tremendous job late when they started to really double her and try to load on her of finding Lauren. And Lauren is, one of the best shooters in the country, one of the best playmakers in the country. So they found each other, but our team just battled and did a great job defensively against a really disciplined, tough Indiana team.
Third-ranked Iowa now stood in the way. Layla Filia tossed in 21 points, leading Michigan on an 8-0 first-quarter run, giving the Wolverines a 25-17 lead. The Hawkeyes pushed back and went ahead in the second quarter thanks to All-American Caitlin Clark. Iowa extended the lead in the third with a 9-3 run. Clark led all scorers with 28 points. Jordan Hobbs finished with 14 points for Michigan, and Lauren Hansen added 13. The Wolverines' impressive run comes to an end, 95-68. The Hawkeyes went on to win the Big Ten tournament title.
I think our team did a phenomenal job all week and potentially ran out of gas a little bit against a tremendous Iowa team. I just think it's a tremendous time for women's basketball. It's a tremendous time for the Big Ten. I mean, if you're a kid out there watching, what greater league to come to than a league that's selling out their tournament, that's selling out all around the country, and that has elite level players.
Wolverine Sports Magazine is presented by Meyer and brought to you in part by Alro Steel, by Abso Pure Water, and by Grand Traverse Resort.
Michigan hockey is back in Minneapolis for the Big Ten tournament semifinals this weekend against the Gophers. But more on that in a minute. First, how they got there with a sweep of Notre Dame in the best-of-3 quarterfinal series this past weekend at Yost. Fans saw a shootout on Friday night. Nick Moldenhauer's first-period power play goal tied the game, and the Wolverines took the lead on Rutger McGroarty's 15th goal of the year. The Irish scored the next 3 goals to take a 4-2 lead and partially quiet the sold-out crowd. Garrett Shifty stopped the bleeding for the Wolverines when he scored at 17:04 the second period, cutting Notre Dame's lead to 4-3. Michigan tied the game just 11 seconds into the third on this TJ Hughes snipe. It came on the power play, and so did the game winner from Rutger McGroarty at 3:04 of the period. Michigan hung on for the dramatic 5-4 victory.
I thought our first period was unbelievable. I think a bit of a hiccup in the second there, but we took advantage of that 5-minute power play we got there in the third. So that was huge. Power play was awesome. PK was awesome all night. So I think just kind of get rid of that second period from tonight tomorrow, and we'll be good to go again.
Defenseman Seamus Casey racked up 4 assists for his first career 4-point performance.
Obviously don't want to give up 4 goals, but we just playoff hockey. You never know what's going to happen. I thought our first and third period were really, really good. Second, we had some lapses. I think that's going to be important for us, is just, mitigating their pushes. We know they're going to push. They're a good team. Just realizing it, getting our game back, dealing with that a little better. I think, we could have handled that second period a little better, but other than that, it was just a great effort from the guys. Stayed resilient all the way through, and there was no doubt, so it was good.
Michigan delivered the knockout punch Saturday night, but it didn't come until the third period. The Irish once again scored the first goal. TJ Hughes tied it up when he redirected a Casey shot into the net. With just 9 seconds left in the period, Hughes scored his second goal of the night. He gets to the loose puck, and Michigan led 2-1.
playing here at Yost. There's nothing like it. It's the best time of our lives, and you make so many memories with our best friends here. So it's so much fun to score in front of Yost, score in front of the children and all the fans here. They really pump us up, and they make us go all out. So it's awesome to have them here.
The Irish then scored 2 goals within 2.5 minutes in the second period to retake the lead. Michigan responded with Dylan Duke's 21st goal of the season when he crashed the net and knocked in the rebound. That tied things up. Gavin Brindley scored the game winner at 3:54 of the third by burying a feed from Tyler Duke for his team-leading 23rd goal of the season. Michigan advances with the 4-3 win.
And I'm so proud of you guys. Unreal job. We can talk about a million things, but just you got it done. You got it done. You found a way in so many different scenarios, and you never know when it's going to matter. And just getting it in, getting it out, sticking to the plan in the third. You guys are outstanding. You deserve it, man. We've had a good week of practice, good week of prep, and it's them doing it on the ice. So just really proud of them, and keep this thing moving forward.
Jake Barczewski made 2 saves in the final seconds to earn his 17th win of the year.
It's a great experience. First playoff, like you said, series win, and I'm just super happy for the guys. Honestly, they battled and worked their butts off out there. So for us to be able to go out there and finish a team season tonight was a big stepping block for us, and we just want to keep that moving forward.
The matchup with the Gophers this Saturday night is single-game elimination. Now, the Wolverines faced off against Minnesota 2 weeks ago, splitting the series at Mariucci Arena.
We have all kinds of reasons to be confident. I think, a lot of great guys in there just working every day and just trying to get better every day. I think, last weekend obviously helps us coming into Minnesota. It's never going to be an easy place to play, but, we're just fired up and ready for the weekend.
The Wolverines have a 1-win, 2-loss, and 1-tie record against Minnesota this season. They lost on the road 6-2 before beating their historic rival in overtime 6-5 on March 2nd. And don't forget, Michigan has won the last 2 Big Ten Tournament Championship games against Minnesota on the Gophers' home ice.
We've obviously had a lot of success in that building over the past couple of years, and it's a fun place to play. It's fun when everyone's rooting against you, and it kind of motivates us a little more to get that win or whatever it may be. But they're a good team, we're a good team. It's going to be a good matchup.
If we just stick to the way that we play, controlling the puck in the O zone and just being strong defensively and coming out hard, I think we like our chances. They kind of get whatever we give them in the neutral zone and in the turnover game too. So just being ready for whatever the unexpecteds, and I like our chances.
Well, we got a special group here. We've been through a lot. We've had a lot of ups and downs throughout the season, and I think things are starting to click for us, and it's a resilient group, and I think all the guys are confident and ready going into this weekend.
The 9th-ranked wrestling Wolverines competed in the Big Ten tournament this past weekend in College Park, Maryland, where they finished second. Number 1 Penn State took home the team title. Michigan's 123.5 points was the second highest Big Ten point total in program history. The Wolverines had 9 place winners, including 8 top 4 finishers. Dylan Ragusin, Austin Gomez, Will Lewan, and Shane Griffith all made it to their championship finals before losing. Griffith was forced to a medical forfeit out of his bout at 174 pounds. The Wolverines' 9 qualifiers will now take a 2-week break before the national tournament begins March 21st in Kansas City. On to baseball, where the Wolverines got swept in South Carolina in a 3-game series against Coastal Carolina last weekend. They returned home to the much friendlier confines of Ray Fisher Stadium on Tuesday, where they played host to Toledo. The Wolverines were a little too welcoming in this one, and the Rockets took advantage of a couple Michigan miscues early on, launching a pair of balls in orbit, including a 3-run homer in the second to put U of M in a 6-0 hole. Michigan battled back with 3 in the second, spurred by this Kyle Dernetti 2-run double, scoring Joe Longo and Bradley Navarro. Dernetti would come through again in the 6th, when the grad transfer from Oregon State knotted the score at 6 with an RBI single. Kurt Barr kept Michigan alive in relief, pitching 6 scoreless innings. The sophomore allowed just 3 hits and 3 walks, striking out 4 as the game went to extra innings. In the 12th, Cole Caruso, another transfer, played the hero with this 2-out single to left to bring home Mac Timbrook as the Maize and Blue complete the comeback with a 7-6 victory. Baseball will continue their homestand this weekend as they host the University of San Diego in a 3-game series. Softball stays on the road again this weekend as they're in Louisville, Kentucky for the Cardinal Classic. Weather wrecked their schedule last weekend at the Northern Kentucky Classic. Michigan beat Bowling Green and Illinois State. On Sunday, host NKU beat the Wolverines 3-2. Lauren Durkowski had 6 strikeouts in the circle for the Wolverines before the home team took a 3-0 lead in the 3rd inning. Michigan got 2 runs back in the 5th when Ella Stevenson led off with a double. She scored when freshman Aaron Haynes singled to center field. The Wolverines picked up their 2nd run on a Northern Kentucky error. The 2nd-ranked women's tennis team stormed back after dropping the doubles point against 8th-ranked Pepperdine Sunday at the Varsity Tennis Center. The Wolverines won 5 first sets in single play and 4 of the first 5 matches to finish with a 4-2 victory. Sophomore Lily Jones was a 6-4, 2-6, 6-4 winner at the 6th singles spot to clinch the winning team point for Michigan, who travels to Ohio State to take on the 9th-ranked Buckeyes. The 7th-ranked women's gymnastics team defeated 20th-ranked Georgia March 8th at Chrysler Center. Gabby Wilson won the floor exercise and placed 2nd on the uneven bars. The graduate student also won the all-around to lead the Wolverines. Senior Raina Gigino captured her 2nd vault title of the season. Jenna Mulligan and Jace Borey shared the balance beam title. Michigan concludes the regular season when they host Denver Friday at 6:45 p.m. Come help celebrate senior night at Chrysler Center. The 4th-ranked men's team lost at 7th-ranked Ohio State March 9th. Senior Javier Alfonso was the winner on the steel rings, while sophomore Fred Richard won the high bar competition and stood atop the podium as the all-around winner. Michigan closes out the regular season Sunday against 6th-ranked Penn State at Cliff Keen Arena. You can watch it on the Big Ten Network at 4 o'clock. Back in Ann Arbor, 2 of the hottest teams on campus were in action at the Lacrosse Stadium this past weekend. On Sunday, the 13th-ranked men's team saw their 5-game winning streak come to an end at the hands of number 19, Harvard. The visiting Crimson started strong. Harvard led the Maize and Blue 4-0 after a quarter and extended that lead to as many as 7, going up 10-3 early in the 2nd half. U of M rallied, scoring 4 straight goals in the 3rd quarter, eventually trimming the lead down to 2 thanks to a pair of goals by Ryan Cohen. But Michigan could get no closer. Harvard wins 13-11. Grad transfer Christian Ronda tied a career best with 4 goals for the Wolverines, and senior Isaac Aronson's 3 goals also tied a career high. Michigan tries to start a new winning streak in South Bend against Notre Dame on March 16th. On Saturday, the 6th-ranked women's program moved their record to a perfect 8-0 on the year, thanks to an 11-3 victory over Central Michigan. The Maize and Blue raced out to a 10-1 halftime lead. Lily Montemarano and Catherine Merrifield both scored a pair of first-half goals to help Michigan seize control of the game. U of M's stifling defense took it from there. Erin O'Grady and Maya Santamaria combined for 5 saves in the cage, and preseason All-American defender Maddie Burns put the icing on the cake in the 2nd half with her first career goal. Wolverines play at Rutgers tonight, March 14th. And finally, football spring practice begins this Monday under new head coach Sharon Moore. And mark your calendars, the annual spring game is slated for April 20th in the Big House. For all the latest info on Michigan athletics and to follow along with any of your favorite teams, you can follow us on our social media platforms and, as always, mgoblue.com. For Wolverine Sports Magazine, I'm Anthony Polidano.